Hello everyone, my name is Dan, and in this video I will share with you how to identify fair value gaps with the help of ICT Concepts in order to maximize your profits. So if you're ready, let's get right into it. Alright, so what are these fair value gaps? How can we identify them? Essentially, a fair value gap occurs when the high of the first candle doesn't overlap with the low of the third candle, or the opposite, when the low of the first candle doesn't overlap with the high of the third candle. Let me show you what I mean, okay? So check this out. We have an example right here, and after that we will also use the bar replay and read the markets together and look for some fair value gap examples. So right here, check this out. I'm gonna use the bar replay. Okay, check this out. So this right here is the high of our first candle. Okay, let me draw it. This is the high of our first candle. This is the second candle, and then this is the third candle. So this is the low of the third candle. So right here, this is a fair value gap. This zone that was formed between these two candles is the fair value gap, because again, the high didn't overlap with the low of the third candle. Okay, so this right here is a fair value gap. Let me show you another example of a fair value gap. Let me scroll. Boom, check this out right here. Okay, so again, I'm gonna use the bar replay and show you what I mean. Okay, check this out. So this right here is the low of the first candle. And we said that if the low of the first candle doesn't overlap with the high of the third candle, that's a fair value gap. Check this out. This is the high of the third candle. And the zone in between is the fair value gap. Why? Because these 2 wicks aren't touching. And now, since you guys know how a fair value gap looks like, let me show you what a fair value gap doesn't look like. Okay, so let me show you what a normal price action looks like. So check this out, okay? We have this as our first candle, this blue candle as our first candle, okay? So this is the low of our first candle. And now, if we print the third candle, this is the high of the third candle. Although price moved lower, there was no fair value gap created, okay? Because this low overlaps with this high of this third candle, okay? So I really hope that made sense, and I hope y'all understood it. Now, let's get into some more examples using the recent price action. And of course, fair value gaps can be identified on whatever time frame you want. So no matter if you're a swing, day trader or scalper, you can use this technique on every single time frame, and it will come in very handy. Why? Why will it come in very handy? Because you can then look for trade ideas based on these fair value gaps. And I'm gonna show you some examples right now. But before we get into these examples, I also want to let you know that if you guys want to see the SMC trades I am taking every single day, you should go ahead and join my trading group, my SMC trading group. It is the first link down below. Feel free to join it and check it out. So let's get into the examples. Let's get into the examples. Right here, check this out, guys. We have price moving upwards. We have a bullish market structure, okay? Price is constantly breaking highs. So let's look for some fair value gaps. Boom, check this out. This is our high of the first candle. Let's see if it overlaps with the low of the third candle, and it doesn't. So a fair value gap was created right here. And we know that market tends to fill these fair value gaps. And because of that, knowing that we are moving to the upside, knowing that we are constantly breaking highs, and we also created a fair value gap, we could look for some buy setups in this zone. Okay, so let's play the price. Let's play the price. And boom, check this out. Check this out. We could take the middle of the fair value gap And that's where we could have placed a buy limit, right on the middle of the fair value gap. Stop loss could have been below it, and then take profit, you could have aimed for imbalance or whatever you want. You could have aimed for the high. That is really up to you. Okay, but let's say you would have aimed for a 1 to 8 for this imbalance right here to be filled. Check this out. Boom, take profit would have been smashed. Okay, using this fair value gap. Now, on the other hand, right here, we created another fair value gap. Okay, this time we could look for a sell opportunity. Check this out. This is the low of the first candle. Okay, the low of the first candle is right here. And then the high of the third candle, which is this doji one, is right here. So we created a fair value gap. We also broke structure right here. We have a BOS to the downside right here. We could also mark it BOS. Now, exactly after this buy limit would have smashed your take profit, you could have looked for a sell limit based on this fair value gap right here. Again, you could have took the middle of it and you could have placed a sell limit, and then stop loss, once again up to you, but I would place it above the FVG, the fair value gap. And then again, you could either aim for liquidity, for imbalance, you could aim for this low. It is really up to you. To be fair, I would choose this as my target. It would be a nice 1 to 5. I would aim for this fair value gap right here. And if we play the price, it would have smashed the take profit. Of course, this is not necessarily a strategy video. I wanted to share this video with you to show you how to easily identify fair value gaps and how you guys can use it in the market to your own benefit. So now, before we end the video, let's quickly do some bar replay, backtesting here to read some fair value gaps examples. Okay, some fair value gap examples. So right here, boom, this is our first candle. Let's see if we have a fair value gap. No, we don't, because the low overlapped with the high of the third candle. So let's move on. This now is our first candle. Let's look for the third one. Boom, this is the third one. And check this out. We do have a fair value gap. Okay, this one right here becomes a fair value gap. Let's continue and look for 2 or 3 more examples. Let's move on. Okay, boom, this is our low, but that won't be a fair value gap example. Yeah, it won't be, because this is the low, this is the high of the third candle, so this is a normal price movement. Moving forward, let's move forward. Okay, this could be our first candle. Let's see if we will have a fair value gap right here. And no, the third candle touches the bottom of the first candle, so no fair value gap right there. Moving on, this is our first candle, the low of the first candle, and boom, check this out, another fair value gap. Okay, the low of this first candle doesn't touch the high of the third candle, so because of that we have a fair value gap right here. Okay, so yeah, that being said, I don't want to make this video too long. I really think y'all understood how to read these fair value gaps. To be fair, I would recommend you all to go on a random chart, random pair, random time frame, and start training your eye to be able to spot these fair value gaps. And look, check this out. This is the example we just discussed about when we used the bar replay to identify some more fair value gaps. Look what a reaction price had to it. Look what a reaction price had to this fair value gap right here. Okay, so this is why I decided to make a video on it, because this concept is very, very cool. But of course, keep in mind that not every single fair value gap will look like this, and price won't have a reaction like this on every single fair value gap, because once again, nothing has a 100% win rate. Okay, but combine this concept with the other concepts that we've covered so far on this channel, concepts like supply and demand, maybe market structure, and you will have a very solid trading system. You will have a very solid trading strategy you could follow on a daily and weekly basis. Okay, So yeah, that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Also, make sure you are subscribed to not miss out on future content like this. And until next time, if there's any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'll make sure to check them out. And a very cool video, a very cool SMC trading strategy video explained step by step in depth will pop on the screen right now. Make sure to check it out. I'm really curious to see your thoughts on it. That being said, till next time, I wish you all the best and take care.